Listen, slimming down the monarchy as a sign of modernity is an insult to our intelligence, okay? Not only is this pale, stale, and predominantly male, right? It sends a powerful message of maintaining the hierarchical divide of class, race, wealth, and privilege. The royal family is the face of the British monarchy, an institution that symbolizes the entrenched structural inequalities that has placed British subjects in a chokehold of, peasant mentality and servitude. In fact, King Charles had the audacity to invite us, members of the public, to swear an allegiance to him when he's the one that should have been giving an oath of service to us. Look, Queen...
He did during the ceremony. He said he came to serve, not to be served.
No, but the point here...
Didn't you do it?
Hell to the freak, no. The point here is that not only are they out of touch, outdated. The point here is that I want people to understand that the days and the era of deference and reverence, which is the era of Queen Elizabeth, are totally behind us. And Queen Elizabeth could avoid scrutiny, transparency, accountability because of the deference that people held for her. Her successors are not going to benefit from the same. And, you're talking about all of these people. Princess Alexandra, all of these people that apparently...
There's a Duke of
let me finish.
Princess of Wales.
I was listening to your joy and your excitement, and here I was trying to just feel your passion.
Not my joy and excitement. 2 million people were on the streets of London. 2 million.
You might learn something. The bottom line here is that no member of the royal family is a source of inspiration or aspiration for anybody.
The Prince and Princess of Wales
resonate. Let me finish. Hold on.
No.
If you don't interrupt me, I'll make my point.
The world's most glamorous couple, the Prince and Princess of Wales.
It was one of those rare live television moments where, honestly, you could feel the tension in the air before the real clash even began. The segment was framed politely enough. Is the new monarchy out of touch? A simple question, wrapped in morning show civility, but, heavy with the weight of centuries of power, privilege, and propaganda. Sitting across from each other were two people who could not be further apart in their views. On one side, Dr. Shola Mos-Shogbamimu, unapologetically sharp, unapologetically outspoken, a woman whose intellect and moral clarity have made her both respected and, feared in British media circles. On the other, Richard Fitzwilliams, a royal commentator whose career has been built on defending the institution no matter what, spinning gold out of the monarchy's most tarnished moments. But then, Dr. Shola said it, the line that instantly cut through the pomp, the ceremony, the myth-making. No member of the royal family is a source of inspiration for anybody. And you could almost hear the collective gasp from royalists clutching their pearls across Britain. What Dr. Shola did in that moment was pull back the curtain on a very carefully crafted illusion. The monarchy, for generations, has been sold to the public as a beacon of national pride, a source of unity, a family that supposedly serves out of duty and love for the country. But Dr. Shola wasn't buying it, and neither should we. Her statement wasn't about disrespect for the Queen as a person, or personal animosity toward individuals. It was about challenging the narrative that this institution, steeped in colonial history, funded by public money, insulated from accountability, somehow represents an inspirational ideal for modern Britain. In a country where people are working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay rent, where food bank use is skyrocketing, where nurses and teachers are on strike because they can't live on their wages, the idea that billionaires in crowns are the pinnacle of inspiration is not just outdated, it's offensive. And let's talk about why that illusion persists. Royal propaganda relies on relentless repetition, glossy photographs, soft focus interviews, charity visits where the royal spends 30 minutes smiling for the cameras, and then leaves while the actual problems remain. The media frames these fleeting appearances as monumental acts of service, as though shaking a few hands is equivalent to grassroots activism or policy reform. But Dr. Shola's point cuts through that. Inspiration, real inspiration, comes from those who create change with their own hands, who put themselves on the line to challenge injustice, who fight for equality even when it costs them. And if we're honest, most members of the royal family have done the opposite, maintaining systems of inequality, protecting wealth and privilege, and avoiding any real accountability. Their very existence depends on upholding a hierarchy where they are at the top and the public foots the bill. You could see Richard Fitzwilliams shift uncomfortably when Dr. Shola said it, because defending the monarchy's inspirational value is one of his go-to talking points. He often paints the royals as embodiments of service, but the record doesn't hold up under scrutiny. We have to ask, where is the evidence that their presence has improved the lives of ordinary people in a lasting way? Sure, they lend their names to causes, but lending your name is not the same as leading a movement. It's PR, it's branding, and in many cases, it's also a way to distract from scandal or criticism. Think about how quickly the media pivots to a royal ribbon-cutting ceremony whenever there's bad press about the family's finances or personal conduct. It's no accident. It's a survival tactic for the institution. Dr. Shola's words land especially hard when you consider the monarchy's historical baggage. How do you find inspiration in a family whose wealth and status are tied to the British Empire's colonial past? A past that extracted resources, suppressed cultures, and caused generational harm in nations across Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean? The jewels in the crown are literal spoils of empire, and yet when people ask for acknowledgement, apology, or even the return of stolen artifacts, the royals stay silent. Inspiration comes from courage, and silence in the face of injustice is the opposite of courage. So when Dr. Shola says no member of the royal family inspires her, she is saying what many in Britain and across the Commonwealth already know. Symbolism without substance is empty. You know, it's also telling that whenever someone like Dr. Shola makes a statement like this, the backlash is immediate and, honestly, pretty vicious. She's accused of being disrespectful or unpatriotic, as though patriotism means, well, unquestioning loyalty to a hereditary institution. But real patriotism is about wanting your country to live up to its ideals, not just protecting those who are above the law. The speed and ferocity of the pushback really proves just how deeply the myth of royal inspiration has been embedded into the national psyche. And who benefits from that? Not the public, not the communities struggling for resources. It benefits the institution itself. It keeps the money flowing, the influence intact, and the status unchallenged. Let's also talk about the timing of this exchange, because, well, it matters. This was May 2023 in the aftermath of King Charles's coronation, a coronation that cost millions during a cost-of-living crisis. We were told that Charles's slimmed-down monarchy would somehow be more efficient and modern, as though, cutting a few working royals from the rota magically made the entire system relevant. And yet, when the official portrait was unveiled, the youngest royal in the photo was 40 years old. 40! This isn't a vision of the future. It's a snapshot of a dated institution struggling to rebrand itself while clinging to the same old hierarchies. Dr. Shola saw right through it, and she wasn't afraid to say the quiet part out loud. And here's the thing. When Dr. Shola says no royal is inspiring, she isn't saying that individuals can't have admirable qualities. She's saying that their role, the one the public pays for, isn't inspirational because it isn't built on merit, effort, or accountability. You're born into it. You inherit the titles, the castles, the influence. That's not inspiration, that's luck of the draw. And in a society that claims to value hard work, talent, and opportunity, celebrating inherited privilege as inspirational sends exactly the wrong message. It tells young people that it's not what you do that matters, it's who your parents are. That's the opposite of what a fair, modern society should stand for. Dr. Shola's statement also resonates with people who've been watching the double standards play out between different members of the royal family. We've all seen how Meghan Sussex was relentlessly hounded by the press for things that other royals, especially white royals, were praised for. We've seen the institution's refusal to defend her, even as the media's attacks had clear racial undertones. That hypocrisy is part of why so many people, particularly people of color, don't see the royals as inspirational. If you can't even stand up for your own family in the face of racism, how are you going to stand up for the public? And perhaps that's the heart of it. The monarchy has mastered the art of appearing caring without taking real risks for justice. Real inspiration often requires sacrifice. It means standing up for the unpopular truth, advocating for those with no voice, or putting yourself in harm's way for the greater good. The royals have all the resources and the platform to do that, but they don't, because their position depends on staying neutral. And staying neutral in the face of oppression isn't noble, it's cowardice. Dr. Shola's comment strips away the romanticism and forces us to look at that reality. So when she said it, she wasn't just making a throwaway remark. She was challenging an entire national narrative. And the beauty of it is that the statement is backed by facts. You can disagree with her emotionally if you love the monarchy, but you can't produce a consistent record of transformative leadership from its members. You can't show that their existence has tangibly shifted the balance toward equality or justice in the UK. All you can show are ceremonies, pageantry, and well-managed photo ops. That might be entertaining for some, but it's not inspiration. That's why this moment matters. Because as long as voices like Dr. Shola's keep speaking truth on platforms like Good Morning Britain, the public gets a counter-narrative. And that's dangerous to the monarchy's PR machine, which relies on near-total control of the story. She took that control back for a few minutes on live television, and in doing so, she planted seeds of doubt in viewers who might never have questioned the idea before. That's what makes her statement so powerful. It's not just about what she said, it's about the permission she gave others to think the same thing out loud.